Shalom. And I want to start off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach, Chodesh. Double honors to my teachers, their apostles, and elders, a great millstone. And salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening, pushing forward this word with truth and sincerity. And your few Akwith as well, let's listen with sincerity. I'm the brother Machaya from the camp GMS Montreal, coming back with another lesson. And the Lord is going to bring a famine to this place, man. Okay, there's going to be a worldwide famine very soon. Okay, because we know that's according to prophecy. And that's the intentions of the Lord to basically make these people suffer via hunger. Okay, so let's get this in the book of Ezekiel. The 5th chapter and verse... in verse 16, it says, "When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread." Okay, the Lord is going to break the staff of bread here, man. Okay, these first world countries, they're going to feel it. Okay, and these third world countries. So America, England, France, Canada, right? There will be a famine coming very soon to these, well, all around the world. But, even the first world countries, they're going to feel it the worst because they're the ones that's been living comfortably, for the longest, where, food is easily accessible. You could go to your grocery store, your local grocery store, and get whatever, your flesh desires. Or you could go on your phone and go on Uber Eats and order whatever you want. Your fridge is all stocked up. You have things in the freezer, things in the fridge, fruits on the table. The pantry is all full of snacks, right? So they're living good. So when that staff of bread is broken, they're going to feel it the worst, man. It's going to hit them with a nice hit, man, a nice uppercut. They're going to realize, oh, shit, I'm through. Now I got to ration my food. Now I got to count my calories, okay? Because what? The Lord is going to break the staff of bread, all right? He's going to make food not as easily accessible as it is now, because a famine just goes into a lack of food. There is food, but it's just, you can't find it. You can't get it, okay? Let's go to chapter 4, because here is going to go into how that, they're gonna start counting them calories, man. All right, this is Ezekiel 4 and verse 16. It says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care." See, they're gonna eat bread by weight and with care, meaning what? Hey, they're gonna be counting them calories. They're gonna be rationing, their food, man. Okay. One slice of bread for the day. You know what I'm saying? And one cap of water. You see, you have a water bottle with a cap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're going to be measuring it like that, man. Because, hey, trust me, the famine is going to be very severe, man. Very severe. Okay? It says, "And they shall eat bread by weight and with care." With care, man. They're going to carefully weight these things and eat it with care, man. Enjoy every last piece, man. Right? "And they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment." Throughness. Okay? And it says that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. Yeah, that's the reason why the Lord is bringing this, man, for their iniquity, for their, unlawful deeds. Okay? Because the world is completely engulfed in wickedness. All right? So therefore, there will be a punishment. And one of the, if you die of famine, man, that means the Lord truly hates you, man. Because that's one of the worst ways to go out, man. Truly. You know what I'm saying? Because your body starts eating itself and then you just pine away, as scriptures say. It ain't no joke, man. And them hunger pains, it ain't no joke. These people go a few hours without food, they start feeling the hunger pain, and they start panicking, they start throwing tantrums. You know what I'm saying? They become angry. So imagine a few days without food, man. They ain't gonna last, man. You know, they're gonna resort quickly to cannibalism, very quickly. You know, because in this especially here, you know, in the Americas, in Canada, whatnot, you know, there's too accustomed with food being easily accessible to where that these people they eat like, you know, pretty much, you know, every 3 hours, every 4 hours, they're eating around the clock, man. You know, so once that lack of food, that staff of bread is broken, they're going to feel it. You know, these people don't know what it's like to fast. What is fasting? They don't fast. Not even intermediate fasting, man. They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? All they eat is eat, 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 eat. So hey, it's gonna hit hard, man. It will hit hard. They will suffer. You know. I want to get this as well in limitations because I said that, you know, famine is one of the worst ways to go out, right? So let's read this Lamentations 4 and verse we'll start at verse 8. It says, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. Yeah, it just, you know, it's giving a depiction. Well, this was the famine that happened to our people. Is the southern kingdom mainly, right? When they were besieged by the Babylonians, there was a famine in the land. And, you know, the right here is just describing, you know, their state, how they were like with not having food for a long period of time. You know, their visage became blacker, their face became blacker, right? You know, their skin was cleaving to their bones, meaning what the fat that they had in their body, the muscle that they had, their body ate it up to where that now they were just bones and skin, to where they could see their bone structure, jawline was sharp as fuck. Okay, they became like a stick, man. All right, it says verse 9, and that's gonna be these people too, man. A whole lot of sharp jawlines, man. You know what I'm saying? It says verse 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. You see? So just to die by the sword being shot or being stabbed, that's a better way to go than dying of famine, because that's a slow, agonizing, painful death, man. Okay? Truly, man, if you go out like that, man, the Lord hates you, man. That means you did something, hey, you did some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, shit, ain't no joke, man. Okay? You know, just fasting for a few days, that shit is painful, man. Imagine you not having food for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Shit. Through. It says, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Pine away and completely through, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, like I said, man, that's not a good way to go, man. Okay, and trust me, the Lord is not going to let his men, okay, his prophets, those that believe in him, the few sisters, to suffer famine. All right? Oh, there's that in Proverbs. He's not going to suffer the soul of the righteous to famish. Okay, the Lord's not going to let that happen to us. Okay, Abaratas that would be of his elect. Is it 13 and 2? Let me see. Okay, these judgments are only reserved for the wicked, man. Okay, let me write it again. Bear with me. Okay, it's 10 and 3. This is Proverbs. You know what? Let's get in the blue letter. Proverbs 10 and verse 3. It says, the Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. See, that only happens to the wicked. Only the wicked, he casts away their substance. The food that's supposed to be there to sustain them. But as far as the righteous, hey, they're not going to suffer famish. They will not see famish. Let's read that in the NLT. It says, the Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. That's a fact, man. Okay, even King David said it, he's been old and young. He's never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So, the righteous, they will be good. They will eat abundantly, as it says in Second Ezra, man. Okay, but as far as the wicked, the rest of these people, that famine is gonna, hey, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel that famine, man. Okay, and it's gonna be a yapa sight to behold. Okay, and yapa is the Hebrew word for beautiful. Okay, so this is Second Ezra 2 in verse 27 to the point. It says, "Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance." And that's a fact. Okay, we're gonna be merry and have abundance, man. Okay, so oh no, that was a slip of the tongue. We're gonna be having oh, I thought I said weary, but I said merry. Yeah, so we're gonna be merry and have abundance, while others gonna be wearying and heaviness and sorrows through. While the Lord is gonna take care of us, man. Remember Elijah during that famine, right? He was fed. Yeah, I'm saying there was ravens that came that fed him, and he drank from that river. Okay, and drank up the whole river, man. So he was good. He was satiated. So how much more us? Yeah, I'm saying these last days. Okay, it says verse 28, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall not be able to do nothing against thee, said the Lord. Yeah, they're gonna envy us, but they ain't gonna be able to do shit. Okay, they ain't gonna be able to do nothing. They're gonna see us eat, seeing the fluffiness or the fluffy, no, the life in our face. While their faces are pining away, while their visage is blacker than a coal, us is gonna be, I'm saying, full of life, man. It's gonna be fatter in flesh than them. You know what I mean? It's gonna be beautiful, man. It's gonna be beautiful. Hey, I'm saying it's gonna be a beautiful sight to behold. It says that we're gonna laugh at these people during the famine, man. Okay. You might think, oh, that's sadistic, man. Why would you laugh at people? Nah, man. They've been laughing at us. In the highways and hedges, on the counter boards. They've been laughing at us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's only right. It's only right that we get the last laugh, which really is the Lord that's going to be laughing through us. Okay? Because, the prophets are the mouthpiece of the Lord. Even Proverbs 1, 20 and down, it speaks about how that the Lord is going to laugh at their calamity when the destruction cometh upon them. Oh, that's sadistic. So what? So what? This is Job 5 and verse 20. It says, "In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword." You see, in famine he's going to redeem us from death. Once again, he does not suffer the soul of the righteous to see famish, man. Okay? It says, "Thou shalt be hid from the scourges of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth." Okay, so at destruction and famine, what? We're gonna laugh, man. We're gonna laugh our ass off. Okay, while they're mourning, while they're through us, we're laughing, giggling, eating, drinking water. Okay, and we're not gonna be drinking, eating with care like they are. If they come across food, that is, if they come across food, of course. I'm saying, hey. We briefly went into that was a point. That was a topic that we touched on at camp. Going into the famine. And what's it called? Just getting a cockroach, that would be a luxury to these people, man. You know what I'm saying? In the crazy, oh, cockroach! Oh my God, they're gonna start hunting it like a ferocious beast, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how much scarce food is going to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Through. You know what? There's another one that's I wanted to get as well in Lamentations, the same chapter at verse 5. Lamentations 4 and 5. It says, "They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets." You see, and all these people, they're feeding delicately. They're living like kings, man. You know what I'm saying? Eating king's meat. They're living like kings. So All these people that did feed delicately, they're gonna be desolate in the streets, man. Yeah, I'm saying going to restaurants every week, eating whatever they want. Hey, they're gonna be desolate in the streets, man. They that were brought up in scarlet embraced dunghills. Yeah, I'm saying y'all gonna be embracing dunghills, man. But you know what's a dunghill? That's a shit hill. Okay, completely through, man. You see what I'm saying? Oh, and I made the point how that, hey, not like a few days gonna go by and they're gonna resort to cannibalism. Okay, because they have no integrity, they have no morals. Okay, and one of the things that happen when you suffer hunger, you start hallucinating, and the only thing that comes in your mind is just food. How do I get my next meal? So, these people are gonna start seeing other people like, yo, their next meal. You see? So let's get this in Ezekiel 5. Back to Ezekiel 5. And what does it say? You shall eat the, is it Ezekiel 5 or 7? I feel like it's 7. Bear with me. No, it is 5. This is Ezekiel 5 verse 10. It says, therefore the father shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers, and I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. So, that was describing the famine, of our people. But regardless, this will happen here. I'm saying, where fathers are going to eat their sons and their sons are going to eat their fathers, man. Remember, during the famine that happened, when the Babylonians besieged Jerusalem, women were cooking their infants and eating them, man. So these things are going to reoccur, man. There's no new thing under the sun, man. Okay, well, once that hunger come in, these people, they lose all their morals, they lose all their sense of being, and they're gonna do whatever to survive, man, to fulfill their needs. You know what I'm saying? Back to Lamentations 4 and verse 10. It says, the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. You see? So what like I stated earlier, I'm saying, our women, they were cooking their children to eat them during the famine and where the Babylonians besieged us, man. All right, so these things are going to reoccur. You know what I'm saying? These people with the little toddlers, they're going to see that as a meal, man, with no remorse, no shame. They're just going to cook the kid, man. Yeah, that's going to take it. For you to do that, that means it's really bad, man. It's going to be very, very bad, man. That lack of food, man, is going to be very serious. And these people, they're already mentally, they're not strong as people, by doing back then, like as our forefathers, they're not as strong, man, mentally. So like I said, it might even take 24 hours for them to resort to cannibalism. Who knows? We're gonna see, but I know it's gonna be quick, man. But yeah, man, that famine is coming very soon, man. Inflation is on the rise, price of goods are going up. It's only a matter of time, I'm saying, before it hits, and these people finally, they realize it and see it, and they're living it. Okay? So I'm going to close it off there, man. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.